Welcome to day 21 of our financial detox challenge, the last day of our challenge. And today we're just going to go through the highlights of the past 20 days, what we've learned in the past 20 days. And I'll start with the purpose of this financial detox challenge is because I did mention that when I was doing my financial literacy trainings, I discovered that majority of South Africans are over indebted due to bad money habits. And what are these bad money habits? Spending more than people are earning, people not saving enough, and also buying things people can't afford. So when we look at habits and we look at mindsets, they go hand in hand. Once the mindsets are changed, the habits are going to be changed accordingly as well. That is why I came up with this challenge. And in the quest to help understand why these bad money habits are in place, the challenge focus on the root cause. And looking at the root cause, the first thing that we looked at was looking at the internal influences. And here we're talking about our beliefs, our expectations and feelings that influence our financial behavior, our successes and disappointments. And all these stem from our childhoods, what we learned when we were still children. And from this as well, we learned that financial success is an inside job. It has nothing to do what is on the outside, because you can be having a lot of money, but if your beliefs are wrong, you will never enjoy that money. You will never be financially successful. And what we looked at specifically regarding these internal influences, we looked at the mindset, the attitude that is established by us. And then we looked at psychology of the money. What are the money scripts? What are we telling ourselves as far as money is concerned? The fear and on finances, because fear does drive people into wrong areas and drive people to do things that lands them in a lot of debt. Financial phobia, we learned about ignorance, that it can be costly not to take those calls and not pay our bills, and also financial personality types, because when you understand your type, then you understand what is driving you and you are able to pause and think every time before you buy anything. And looking at the external influences here, we looked at consumerism, where we learned that this is the theory that makes people want to gain more material and services. People are never satisfied. They want more and more all the time. And that is where we learned about affluenza as well, where people are even willing to do almost anything, to maintain that status. People even embark on dangerous behaviors without even understanding what they're getting themselves into. People are selling their souls just to have the money to maintain that status. So we looked at that as well and the dangers of that. And after we looked at the internal and external influences, we were equipped with vital skills that are required for financial freedom, and that is resilience and discipline. Because when we are resilient, we are emotionally strong, and we become resolute and disciplined, and we don't just go with any trend that we see on social media or our friends doing. We are able to stick to our goals. And when we're able to stick to our goals, we managed to come out of debt, which was the next thing that we looked at. And as far as debt was concerned, we looked at the effects and signs of over-indebtedness and also how to manage the debt. How do you get out of debt and stay out of debt? And we were given the tools to do that. And those tools are goals. We looked at the short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. We looked at budgeting, which is a tool that helps us to track our needs and wants and spending and help us to get out of debt and stay out of debt. And when we have eliminated the wants from our budgets, we then looked at our future, and we looked at savings, we looked at future planning, and this is where we spoke about wealth building. We spoke about investments as tools that helps us to build wealth. And after we have built the wealth, we looked at estate planning, and that is where we spoke about having a plan that will take care of your loved ones and your assets when you pass on. And under estate planning as well, we looked at legacy. which is leaving a heritage and not just an inheritance for our children. And we understood that heritage, we're looking at the morals and moral standing, our values, family history, the intangible legacy side of things. And inheritances, we're talking about the tangible stuff, your cars, your properties, and all that is tangible. But what is most important that we learned is that we need to leave a heritage more than an inheritance. And furthermore, to the intangible legacies, we looked at social responsibility and generosity. And that is where we learned that we need to help our children to become responsible citizens. And we need to help our children to be able to care about others, to be generous towards others, to understand that we are blessed to be a blessing and not just focus on ourselves or on themselves, but to be able to think on behalf of others as well, because they live in a bigger society. And lastly, we looked at gratitude, because this is the mindset that helps in managing our finances. Because when we have this mindset in place, it helps us to be content and appreciate what we have. Because when we're looking at consumerism, people find themselves in a lot of debt because they want to acquire more and more, because they are never content with what they have. They don't appreciate what they have. They always want more. But when we have this attitude of gratitude, we are able to appreciate what we have and we are content, and therefore stay out of debt. And this also goes back to what I mentioned when I said financial success is an internal matter and has nothing to do with what is outside, because contentment is what we experience inside. And in conclusion, I hope that in these 21 days or in these past 20 days, you were able to pause and think about your financial situation, and you have noted where you went wrong if you are in debt, and you won't plunge yourself into debt going forward. And also, I hope that this insights that I gave you helped you to detox, to eliminate that toxic spending mindset that is wasteful and mindless. And lastly, I hope that these 20 days have managed to help you reset your thinking, your mindset, that going forward, this is not how I'm going to think, this is not how I'm going to handle my finances. So I hope and pray that that is the case. And that's all I have, or I had, for the 21 days. It was fun doing this and sharing this with you. Until next time, because I am planning to still drop a video here and there, as far as I'm prompted, whether it will be about wisdom or finances. You will see as and when it happens. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay blessed. Until next time. Bye-bye.